Hello and welcome everyone to another Bokky's Home tutorial. Today I will show you how to make this square. It is made up of two parts and those two parts are zipper stitched together. To make this square you will need 3 colors and I will be using these 3 here, and I'll be using this brighter orange to make the zipper seam, and I will show you how to make the heart first. I will show you how to make the starting mini granny, because these squares are built up with mini grannies again, of course. So the starting mini granny starts in a magic ring, a chain 2, 3 double crochet, a chain 2 and 3 more double crochet, another chain 2 and 3 more double crochet. That's the starting mini granny square, and I won't be showing you this again for the next part. So if you need to check, you just rewind this. This is the starting mini granny square, and this is this one here. We're going on to the next square, which is a corner granny square, and every next square starts with a chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a slip stitch in the back loop, in the back bump of the 3rd chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch in this back bump here. If you already know how to make these minis, you can skip all of this. I'm just going through the motions again for those who are new to this. After the slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And this chain 6 and chain 3 do not count as a stitch. You take your hook out of the stitch, insert your hook in the both loops of the double crochet below here, grab that loop that you just left behind and pull it through. And now you can make your first double crochet of that next mini. And again you will pull loop through in the next double crochet of the previous mini granny, and make the next double crochet of the new mini granny, and again pull loop through in the next double crochet and make the 3rd double crochet on that new mini granny. So now you need to connect in the corner, and that's going to be another pull loop through. Chain 2, 1, 2, and 3 double crochet. The 3 double crochet are made, and you have made your corner granny. The corner granny, this one here, is this one here. And we're going to make the next granny now, and that is going to start with the chain 6 and 3, 4, 5, 6. The slip stitch in that back bump, and again chain 3, and we're just moving the stitch marker up so that this space is marked and it's easier to access. 1, 2, 3, and you go through all those motions again. You pull up through in that first double crochet below of the previous mini granny, and make your first double crochet in the next mini granny, and that's inserting the hook in that space there that you marked. So that was the first. I'm just showing you this one more time. The 2nd double crochet in that new mini, pull up through in the previous mini, and the 3rd double crochet of that new mini, pull up through in the corner, chain 2, 1, 2, and then 3 double crochet again. After those 3 double crochet, you chain 2 and 3 double crochet some more, and then this is where you're at. And just looking at this, we are at this square now, and now we are going to complete those minis. So we're going to make the return pass and crochet back along this side till we end here, and crocheting back along this side, those incomplete mini grannies will be completed. Starting the return pass, I'll chain 2, 1, 2, that's the corner of this mini granny here, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, slip stitch into these 2 loops here, chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet again, and that's the corner mini that will be completed. This is the first set of 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 more double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and that's how you complete this corner granny. Chain 1, slip stitch in these 2 loops here, chain 1 and 3 double crochet in the very first mini granny, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, cut your yarn, pull it up and out, and you can connect this side to there. I have that yarn end on the darning needle, and insert that darning needle under the 2 loops of that first double crochet, and then back down this second chain stitch and down there, and then pull that tight. And I'm leaving this yarn end here so that I'm reminded that this does not count as a stitch. These 2 chains here do not count as a stitch. And next I will show you how to make this outer part here. To make this outer part, I will just show you in which direction we will be working. This will be the starting mini granny. Then you will make 2 straight mini grannies. This will be a corner mini granny, 2 straight mini grannies, a corner, 2 straight, a corner, 1 straight, a corner, and then the turning mini granny. And this is where it gets a bit complicated, and go back up here, and this is where the return pass starts, and all these mini grannies are completed, and you end the round here again. So we're going to start here with the starting mini granny, and I just showed you how to make the starting mini granny when we made this heart. So I'll just finish my starting mini granny and then show you from there. This is my first starting mini granny. To make the next mini granny, we will chain 6, slip stitch and chain 3. All next mini grannies start in the same manner. So chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slip stitch in the back bump of the 3rd chain from the hook, so that one there. Place a stitch marker for your convenience, and finish that slip stitch and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This whole thing here does not count as a stitch. You will pull loop through, done this before, and double crochet in that space there. Getting in the first time is a bit rough, but it works. And I've shown you this on the heart as well, and actually all next mini grannies will start with these same 3 pull loop throughs here and the 3 double crochets in that space there, that marked space. Then you connect in the corner of the previous granny, the previous mini granny, and you chain 2. And what we are making now is one of these straight mini grannies. So I'll show you how the straight mini granny works, and then I won't show them all. So after the chain 2, 3 double crochet. Then chain 2 and 3 double crochet again. And this is your first straight mini. It's this mini here. And we need to make one more straight mini. So you will just repeat what we just did. The chain 6, the slip stitch, the chain 3, and then all of this. And there are the 2 straight mini grannies. The next mini granny in line is a corner mini granny, because we are working from there to here. The corner mini granny was demonstrated when I was making the heart. It was this one here. If you don't remember, just scroll back to see how that was done. I will make my corner granny and then I'll get back to you. This is the corner mini granny that I just made. It's this one here. I'm just going to turn this. We are working here. And I'll just lay it on top so that it might be easier for you to see. And then you will see that next in line are these 2 straight mini grannies. And just do the same as you did here. 2 straight mini grannies made, and the next one will be another corner mini granny. This sharp angle is just sharp because I put it down like that. If you hold it up, it's going to be a bit wavy. So don't worry, it will all come together once the return pass is made. And that was the second corner. I will be making 2 more straight mini grannies and 1 more corner, and then I'll get back to you. I have added the 2 more straight mini grannies and the corner mini granny, and this is looking all a bit wavy. If you lay it down in front of you, just push the corners around a bit so that you can see where you are in the pattern. So now you see, I'll put it on top of this one, but of course you won't have one ready yet, that we are at this corner here. And the next mini granny in line will be a straight mini granny. One straight mini granny. So I'm going to make this 1 straight mini granny, and then things will change around a bit here. And 1 straight mini granny made. The next mini granny is going to be a corner mini granny, because after this we are going to be working in this direction, so we need to turn the corner. So this is going to be a corner mini granny. Corner mini granny made and ready for the next mini granny, which is this one. We are going to be working onto the side of this corner mini granny. So make 1 more straight mini granny, and then we will start the return pass, where we will start connecting to the other side and completing all these incomplete mini grannies. So first we will make 1 more straight mini granny. Here's that last straight mini granny made, and this is not looking at all like this, but that will change in a minute. So I'm just going to show you when I put it on top of this, of the one that I already have finished here, you will see that the next step will be to connect this mini granny to there. And I'll just take this out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 1, then pull loop through in the corner of the second mini granny here, the second from the start. Chain 1 again, and then pull loop through in the next double crochet, the double crochet next to the chain 2 space. So now you can double crochet into that very last straight mini granny. Pull loop through again in the next double crochet here. Double crochet in this mini granny here. Pull up through in that next double crochet. And double crochet, the third double crochet and last double crochet in this very last mini granny here. Now chain 1, slip stitch into these 2 loops here, pull the yarn through, and slip stitch or pull up through in this next chain 2 space here on that very first granny. Now chain 1 again and pull loop through in the next double crochet that is next to that chain 2 space, and now you can double crochet in this mini granny. You can complete this mini granny here. Pull loop through in the next double crochet, double crochet in this mini granny here, pull loop through in the next double crochet on that very first mini granny there, and double crochet in that mini granny there. Pull loop through in this corner space of the very first mini granny, chain 2, and now the return pass is going to be easy peasy. All you need to do is 3 double crochet in each of these straight mini grannies, and they will be complete. As you can see, you will chain 1, slip stitch under these 2 loops here, chain 1, and complete the next mini granny with 3 more double crochet. Chain 1, slip stitch under these 2 loops here again, these 2 only, chain 1, and then complete the corner. The corner is completed with 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Corner complete. Chain 1, slip stitch in those 2 loops again, chain 1, and complete these mini grannies with 3 double crochet each. I will just summarize the return pass for you one more time. So the straight mini grannies here will be completed with 3 double crochet, and the corner mini grannies will be completed with 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and in between all those squares, mini squares, you will chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1. That will be the same everywhere. And I really love this round, this return pass, I should say, because now things are finally shaping up. What we had before was a wiggly tail, and now it's a shape. I will meet you when I reach this point here. The last 3 double crochet are being made in that very first starting mini granny. And 3, chain 2, cut the yarn, pull it up and out, and work away that yarn as you did on the heart. Here you see the frame all finished and ready for the puzzle piece, which is the heart. And what we're going to do next is zipper stitch that in there. We're going to zipper stitch those 2 parts together with the contrasting orange. With the zipper seam, we connect the back loop of each double crochet on one side to the back loop of each double crochet on the opposite side, and also in 1 loop of a chain stitch to the 1 loop of a chain stitch there. And if possible, we will also connect 1 loop of the PLT on this side to 1 loop of the PLT on that side. I say if possible because sometimes it's hard to get that stitch, and then you can just skip it. It's not that big a deal, as long as you don't pull the stitches too tight. And all the time your working yarn will be at the back of your work. I'm just using a piece of scrap orange that I still had. This seam is ideal to work away those scrap bits. I will start my zipper seam on this mini granny here in the double crochet, and I'm going to insert my hook in the back loop of the double crochet on this side, and it's going to match up with the double crochet on that side, and I'm just going to pull up a loop, and that's going to be the start of the zipper seam. And now all you do is insert the hook in the next back loop and the opposite back loop and pull up the yarn, and that's how you go all the way around. So you're connecting double crochets to double crochets and chain stitches to chain stitches. And there you go, and in one loop only. And then, if possible, also you will connect these PLTs to each other. Well, I can get this one here, but if it's impossible to reach that back loop stitch, then just skip it. And there's the PLT on the opposite side, and it's done. And this is how we will go all around. So like here, this chain stitch is rather hard to find, especially after the PLT. I will just skip that and continue with the connecting the double crochets to each other. Just don't pull it too tight. Don't pull that zipper seam too tight and you will be very fine. Then we come to this corner here. This one chain stitch should be connected to the chain stitch on that side there. This is the only spot where we do not skip the chain stitches, because we are going to try and make a sharp corner here. So those chain stitches were connected. Then this chain stitch will be connected to the chain stitch there. And before we do that, I'm just going to do a slip stitch in this corner stitch here to make a sharp corner here. So I won't be connecting anything, I'll just make a slip stitch there and then continue with the zipper seam in the back loop of this chain and one loop of the chain on the other side. It can be either of those two loops. So if the back loop is hard to find in a chain, just pick the front loop. You will not see the difference. And then continue connecting those double crochets again. And then this is what you will get. I'm at this point here where the yarn end of the heart is visible, and it was left there to remind me that this chain 2 does not count as a stitch, this little thing here. So be aware that you skip that, and otherwise you'll notice, because your stitches won't match up. So after this slip stitch here in this corner, I'm going to connect the 2 chain stitches of these 2 grannies. And it can be a bit fiddly at times. And then skip this one here, and that's the first double crochet, and that gets connected to that double crochet. So then you are okay, as you can see. Next, I will zipper stitch through this inner corner here. I need to connect this chain stitch to that chain stitch first. Pull up the yarn up and out. Then this chain stitch will be connected to that chain stitch, and before I do that, I just slip stitch into this loop here of the PLT of this corner granny here, so that we get a nice sharp corner. Now we can continue connecting this chain stitch here to that chain stitch there, and those 3 double crochets to those 3 double crochets. And I will just continue to the end, and I'll show you how to fasten off. Last few stitches of the zipper stitch are being made. I'm connecting the chain stitches here, and this chain stitch of the granny is going to be connected to the chain stitch on. So this chain stitch here is going to be connected to that chain stitch there. And before I do that, I'm going to slip stitch in the PLT loop of this corner granny, so over there, to get a nice sharp corner again. And then that last zipper stitch is going to be made in the corner chain here, and it's all a little messy now. Just pick the front loop of that chain there, pick up your loop, pull it through, cut the yarn, pull it up and out, and then we will work that away. Attach that yarn end to the darning needle and then insert your darning needle under the both loops of that first zipper stitch that you made, the one there. Don't pull it too tight, and then insert your needle straight back down the point where the yarn came out to the back, and you can work away your yarn ends. I like to work away these yarn ends by simply wiggling them around these stitches here and then back. And then I'll put it back, and I'll do the same with this yarn on this side, and those yarn ends will be gone. And this is your heart mini granny square all ready. Here are a couple of the heart squares that I made, and whatever project you're making, you can connect them in any way you like. I will be connecting my squares with the zipper seam, so I will be zipper seaming along these sides here. I have a tutorial on how to go about those crossings, so if you don't know what to do there, just check that tutorial. If you are making a baby blanket or whatever project and you don't like these pointed outer ends, you could make a half-hearted square. And you'll just make a complete heart, and instead of making this complete outer part, you will stop at this corner and make the return pass there. If you do this for the outer top, you will have only a small wiggly top instead of this big zigzag top. So that is, the choice is yours. The only problem here is that I didn't think it out yet for the side. The heart will be sideways here, so if you don't mind that, that's fine, of course, but otherwise maybe you should keep it all in one color and just fill these gaps with one color. I was just thinking out loud there. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'd love to see your squares that you make, and hope to see you again next time. Have a great day, and bye bye.